In 1972, Triumph produced the Stag, an impressive performance automobile. With a convertible top and elegant design, this vehicle is just a whole lot of fun to drive.
I'm Tony Fox. These are the Stags, myself and my son. This one is a 1972. The yellow one behind me is mine. It's a 1971. We've owned them now, I think, around 6-7 years. Both automatics, 8-cylinder engine, and they were produced by Triumph between 1970 and 1978. They only came here for, I think, 3 years, 71 through 73, and then they were discontinued for North America. This one had been stored for about 12 years in a barn in Texas, and it was very sound bodily, but it had a seized engine, so we had to rebuild it. And the one behind me, the yellow one, is pretty much the way you see it. Came from California, so it's a very sound body on it, rust-free. And actually, I drove it back from San Francisco. So that was a fun drive, about 4.5 days driving along the interstate. This car appeals to us more because of its comfort, the convertible top, and the 8-cylinder is quite a torquey engine, so it's a good car for cruising, driving on the countryside. You can drive all day in it and it doesn't beat you up.
A genuine sports car, the Stag had its origins in racing.
They're genuine Dunlop knockoff wire wheels. They were developed originally for sports events, for racing, so that they could change a wheel quickly on a pit stop. And before the time of power tools and air wrenches, the knockoff could be hit with a leather mallet and spun the cap off and change the wheel real quick. So it was a quick change item for rallying, more or less. On the early models, 71, 72, it was a choice of wire wheels or steel disc. And then later on, they went to aluminum wheels, and I think the wire wheels were dropped later on. The wires look pretty, but they're hard to clean.
One of the things that appealed to Tony was the fact that the car was a convertible.
The car came equipped with 2 types of tops. It had a removable hardtop, so you could use this car year-round. Had a heated rear window and padded top, so it was more like a sedan for winter driving. And then in the summer you could take the hardtop off and park it, and then there's a rag top always stored inside the car here. Kind of like the modern-day BMW, actually. So this takes about 45 seconds to a minute to put up, and it's very easy. And then you just close that back down and ready to go. Then it has 4 seats. You could squeeze 2 adults in the back, but it's a little tight, but certainly 2 children is no problem. And this is actually a functional roll bar. This is solid. It came with automatic or 4-speed, you had the choice. Power windows, power steering, power brakes. So it's kind of an upmarket sports car for Triumph at the time. Tinted glass was standard. And it's the only Triumph at that time. It had an 8-cylinder. The TR8s later had an 8-cylinder, but that's a whole different story. This engine was developed and put in this car, and this is the only car that took this engine. This is a V8 developed by Triumph, and it was related to the TR7 engine, and it was only ever used in this car, and then they discontinued it. It's carbureted, Stromberg carbs. There are conversions out. You can get up to 180 horsepower now if you want to spend the money to do it. But they were troublesome when they were new, but now they're sorted out. They're very reliable engines, and we get good service out of them. Triumph Stag is kind of rare to Canada because they were never imported into Canada officially. They came into the United States for 3 years, and because of the problems we were talking about in the engine, they decided to withdraw them from the market. So the ones in Canada have migrated here from the States. So it really is not a very well-known car here. Well, it's well-known, but not very many of them, I should say.
Although the Stag is a rare sight on the streets of North America, if you keep your eyes open, You may just spot Tony.
I use mine probably every other day. We do a lot of weekend events with the car clubs, rallies, tours, mostly social events where my wife and I can go together. And we just enjoy, you know, the social side of it more than the showing side of it. But we use it quite a lot up until probably the end of October, and it's back in the garage.